By the patriarchy?
Wives judge 56 wife beaters, all but 3 to eat turkey at home. This is Chicago. This happened in Chicago in 1935. The is kind of grainy. Let's see if we can read it. Today was wife beaters judgment day in Judge Robert J. Doone's court, with the wives judging. But only 3 husbands got socked. 56 braved the rulings of their better halves, fully empowered by the court to pass on their pledges of reform with Thanksgiving dinner at home, or as guests of the county, the alternative sentences. Only 3 regretted their trust in the little woman, while their co-defendants in the family court walked out proudly to strop the butcher knives for the holiday repast. The trio shuffled silently to Bridewell cells. All the cases had been continued by Judge Doone from September 1st, so there'd be plenty of time for the carousers to prove they had quit. But Miss Mary McNulty said her husband William not only squandered his last paycheck, but had beat her. He drew 60 days with Mary's approbation. A sister, Anna, instead of wife, ruled that Frank Fenton, 32, had been misbehaving again after recently being placed on probation. He got 100 days. Anna Sipiak decided her husband earned 3 months in the Bridwell for habitual loafing, spending her $500 savings and shouting profanities before the children. Wow.
A simpler time.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, history is crazy, man. You really see what was going on back in them days, man. I mean, I think women would love that nowadays. Women would love to bring that back.
They'd find a way to be miserable about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. Betrays him to the police. Girl tells of $3,000 reward for Negro's capture. Philadelphia, August 17th. What year is this? 1908. Charles W. Radcliffe, a Negro, said to be wanted in North Carolina for the murder of a white man, was held here today to await requisition. The Negro was arrested on the charge of larceny made by his sweetheart, a negress with whom he was boarding in this city. At the hearing, the girl, angered by the perfidy of the man. What's perfidy? Let me look that word up, man. I don't know what perfidy means. Perfidy. Untrustworthiness. Oh, he was a cheater. Okay. So he killed the white man in North Carolina, fled to Philly, jacked up with a chick, and then was cheating on him. God damn, son, man. At the hearing, the girl, angered by the perfidy of the man, told the police of the Southern murder. He said a reward of $3,000 was offered to Radcliffe's capture. Detectives questioned the Negro, and he admitted, they say, that he shot and killed a white man at Christmas time last year in Plymouth, North Carolina. He said the shooting was done in self-defense.
That's always the claim. It's always got, then it's upon the prosecution to prove it wasn't self-defense.
Daniel Penny, man. I mean, not Daniel.
I gotta say, hearing the word negress, it sounds so much more elegant and cultured than sister.
Yeah. It said no requisition papers have been asked of Governor Glenn for the Negro Radcliffe, held in Philadelphia, alleged to have murdered a man in Plymouth. It is impossible tonight to get access to the reward book in the Capitol to see if any reward has been offered. So this is a deep dive into the case. The 1908 incident, key players, Charles Radcliffe, the defendant, the unnamed sweetheart, the informant, the governor of North Carolina, Robert B. Glenn. The mechanics of the betrayal. This article is a classic example of how personal disputes in the early 20th century often spilled over into the legal system with high-stakes consequences. Yeah. Yeah, the arrest. That's crazy, man. $3,000 would be $105,000 today. Wow. You see if he ever. It said while specific records for Charles Radcliffe's execution in North Carolina do not appear in the primary capital punishment database for 1908 to 1909, we can infer the probable conclusion based on the era's legal statistics. So they say he probably was murdered. Lynched or whatever. Wow. She sold him out.
They can infer that he must have been lynched, but still maintain he was probably innocent.
It was Christmas lynching in Baltimore suburb. Negro who killed white man taken to Brooklyn jail. Another, we was whacking white people out back in the days, man. God, this is a different story, man. Negro who killed white man.
Though? Is it really?
I mean, it's the same old song.
That's the same story as last night.
It's a different story, but it's the same song. Salute to Eric S. Man. Eric S. Man in the building. Shout out to Eric S. Man. Salute to you, bro. It's the same song, but it's a different story. Wow. Wow. Christmas lynching in Baltimore suburb. Negro who killed white man taken from Brooklyn jail and shot to death. No guard on duty at night.
Back then, we would lynch a Negro and hang lights on him to celebrate the holidays.
Schwab brothers, white, quarreled with King Davis, a Negro, over a pool game. No clue to the lynchers. Wow. A pool game led to this.
So he killed a white guy over a pool game and then got strung up.
Here go the story. Early Sunday morning, 1911, December 25th, 1911. King Davis, a young Negro, and Frank Schwab, white, probably Jewish, Schwab, right?
Or German.
Okay. King Davis and Frank Schwab, white, who had been playing pool together in a saloon at Fairfield, just over the Patapsco River from the city, quarrels. The Negro had lost 3 consecutive games to the white man and was disgruntled. Both had been drinking. When they left the saloon, the Negro cursed Schwab, who appeared indifferent to his language. Just think about it. This is 1911. Some Negroes walking down the street cussing out a white man. But Schwab's brother, Frederick, struck the Negro, who drew a pistol and shot Frederick through the...
That's the response to being punched.
Yeah, man. The pistol was within a few inches of the man's breast, so near that his coat was burned by the powder. The Negro was arrested and taken to jail in Brooklyn, a suburb of Baltimore. Last night, friends of Schwab burst the lock of the rear door of the jail without attracting attention. They found Davis asleep in his cell. Hubert Chase, a Negro held as a witness in the case, was in a cell nearby.
Held as a witness?
Yeah, he was held as a witness in the case.
Put him in jail. He's a witness.
Probably for safety. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But Davis, Jesus Christ. Hubert Chase, a Negro held as a witness in the case, was in a cell nearby but was not disturbed. Davis resisted, but his cries were silenced by a blow to the head with a hatchet. He was then dragged some distance from the jail and shot to death, several bullets piercing his body. No guard is kept at the jail at night. Wow, that's crazy. No one, not even the neighbors, accept the shots, which were thought to be from Christmas revelers. The result of the inquest was a verdict that Davis came to his death by bullet wounds inflicted by parties unknown to the jury. Between the saloon and the scene of the lynchings, the Negro was knocked down and there was a trail of blood. Residents of Brooklyn say the Negroes living there are orderly and industrious. But those living in Fairfield, have been in the habit of coming to Brooklyn and causing serious disturbances. Residents would not allow the white and children to go on the street at night. Wow. Did you hear that?
Yeah, they ruled the streets.
Wow.
1911.
Residents would not allow the white people and children.
They've been free for 2 generations at this point.
It's like women and children. White people and children can't go on the street at night. Holy smokes. Wow.
And it's become known as the Great Christmas Massacre of 1911.
You only get this here, man. I swear. Shout out to Hezekiah, man. But nobody does Hezekiah videos. Nobody does the great work he's putting online. No YouTubers do this except for here. That's crazy. Wow, that's insane. The fact they said white people and children. Like the streets are that rough because of these people from Fairfield. Because they said the niggas in this town are industrious.
Yeah.
The niggas in Brooklyn, Maryland are industrious. But these Negroes in Fairfield, they coming up here and causing disturbances where no white people and children could be out after dark. It's too rough.
I think it said white women, but the point is still the same.
You think he said white women?
I think it said white women.
It says residents would not allow the white and children.
Oh, the white. Oh, yeah.
And go out on the street at night.
Well, why would they want?
Well, as a white man, I can understand wwhy you would hope they didn't say that. But listen, it's rough
Wishful
out
thinking.
there. If it's rough, like, I mean, the streets is a mother, man. Trust me. Streets are a motherfucker. So yeah, man, if the white people weren't like in that town, because even the blacks weren't savage in that town. So imagine how good the white people were. They couldn't, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't, you know what I mean? They couldn't hang with those Negroes in the streets.
They were a problem. I wonder how much, you know how like now the press goes to great lengths to sort of downplay racial stories and using language that tries not to incite, you know, righteous outrage on one side or the other of the racial divide. I mean, I wonder if even back then they had to be very careful with the way they spoke about these things so that they didn't create lynch mobs when reporting a story.
Doesn't look like they were being careful.
I don't know. Some of the language feels maybe not clinical, but the gentleman, you know.
Could be the way they talked in that time too. Like they were
Could be, but even then, it's the way people talk versus the way how talk is represented in the media. I'm sure we're different. You had to.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like, yo, man, if y'all see these niggas, man, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, I mean, it seemed the reporting is a lot better than the reporting today, if you ask me.
Yeah, it seems pretty, rich with detail anyway.
Yeah.
They at least tell you Negro, the attacker was a Negro, and they don't tell you that anymore. Well, some places don't.
Yeah, thorough reporting. They tell you about the whole incident. Like the reporting was so much. Now it's just, we've fallen as we've gotten better with technology. Like all these people probably read. If you became a writer or a reporter in those days, you probably was so well read. You know what I mean? And so versed in like classical laws of English. You know what I mean? Like you didn't. Yeah. You know, you knew like the real English.
Yeah, like those early colonists printing their own papers.
Updates on the incident. The victim of the lynching was King Johnson, a.k.a. King Davis, a 28-year-old Black American man. He was lynched on December 26, 1911, in Brooklyn, Maryland, then Anne Arundel County, now part of Baltimore, after shooting and killing Frederick A. Schwab, a white blacksmith.
German.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's drinking, he's a blacksmith. That's not a Jewish guy.
The official updates on the incident and those involved are King Johnson, the victim, was arrested for murder of Frederick Schwab, claiming self-defense after Schwab struck him during an argument. He was taken to the Brooklyn jail. Okay, yeah, so he was there. So they're basically just telling us what we read. It said Governor Goldsboro hired the Burns Detective Agency to conduct a 6-month investigation. So the governor hired some people to investigate this nigga getting lynched. That's crazy. They never tell that part, right? They never tell that part, that the governor wanted to get to the bottom of it and find out what happened. They don't tell that about these lynchings. Press 1. In almost all the lynchings we saw that we've done on this channel, like somebody has been arrested or brought to justice if they could find it. You know what I mean? As far as I remember. If sometimes they couldn't, do it, but there was
historically we're supposed to think back of lynchings as the most sort of racially hate-filled hoedowns that could, just like a party. We're stringing one up.
Yeah.
Of an innocent person also.
Judgment was sought. judgment was sought. You know what I mean? Judgment was sought in these cases. Salute to everybody out there, man. Let's see. Judgment was sought. It goes on to say that this led to the arrest of 4 men. Frank Schwab, Frederick Schwab's brother involved in the initial pool argument, Thomas Gleason,
Howard Herring,
Schwab's brother-in-law, John Gleason,
Look at the
Frederick
next one.
Schwab's brother-in-law,
An African American went
and
along.
Howard Herring, an African American.
He's not listed as a Negro.
Yeah, exactly. Not what he would have been called back then. Thomas and John Gleason were later released due to lack of sufficient evidence. The conclusion: no one was ever convicted for the lynching and murder of King Johnson. The grand jury ultimately ruled the death was caused by lynching by persons unknown. Hubert Chase, the witness, he was a Black American man held in a nearby cell as a witness to the Schwab killing. The mob did not harm him, though his cell was initially mistaken for Johnson's. He was eventually released, and no further record of his involvement in the aftermath is widely cited. 2019, a historical marker was installed in Anne Arundel County, now part of Baltimore City, as part of a multi-year effort to acknowledge the county's history of racial terror lynchings. It is specifically commemorated King Johnson's lynching. Wow. So they commemorated this guy.
Give him a plaque.
Wow.
Black, he gets a plaque.
The Yazoo City tragedy. Yazoo, Mississippi, December 28th, 1883. The Yazoo City tragedy. Details of the Christmas Eve murders. 3 men killed by Negroes and 2 others badly wounded. The result of a barroom quarrel. Yazoo City, Mississippi, one of the most cold-blooded, premeditated assassinations that ever occurred in any community, was committed in this town on Monday night at about 10 o'clock. When 3 men in the prime and vigor of youth were shot down like dogs, and 2 others, also in the prime of life, were seriously and one of them probably mortally wounded by Negroes. Those killed were John T. and Carnot Posey, brothers, and Jasper Nichols, the 2 former being merchants of the firm of Williams and Posey, and the latter a steamboat man. The Poseys were sons of the late General Posey of the Confederate fame. Okay, so yeah, he deserved it. Who fell on the battlefield at the hand of his command. The sons inherited the bravery of their father and were popular and highly regarded throughout this town and county. Let's see if we can. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I got to screenshot this one. I got to screenshot that. That's
Santa Claus, go straight to the ghetto.
I got to screenshot that, man. We got to get that one. That's amazing. That's an amazing picture right there. I'm going to have to use that for
He wears a glove on one hand.
Thumbnail in the future, man. Who knows, man? I might use that for a thumbnail. I don't have to use AI, man. See, I rarely use AI with my thumbnails, but damn, that saved me. That saved me even having to use AI for Black Santa.
You don't want to see this guy coming down your chimney, man.
Hell no, man.
Stepping into your living room.
No, yeah, 'tis the season, man. That, man, he ain't bringing no gifts, man. He says, goes on to say, Nichols was not so well known in town. That's one of the white men that was killed, but he leaves an excellent reputation as a young man of sterling worth and of industrious and sober habits. He leaves a father and other near relatives. The wounded are Fritz Halder and Henry Ellett, the former county treasurer, the latter a general merchant. So these was upstanding white folk. What they doing in a bar with Negroes? This type of stuff led to segregation. You know that, right? Because it wasn't segregation at first. It was just segregation, Jim Crow, what they call Jim Crow, happened in every little town, in every little city, in every little county over the course of years before it was codified. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I can see how that could happen.
Yeah, it wasn't segregation at first. It was just they freed the Negroes. There was Reconstruction era, and then this town was like, look, segregation. We segregate, and then it got so widespread that they just codified it in the law. It said it says, damn, look at this. The shot struck Mr. Halder in one of his lower ribs and came out of his back. But whether it ranged around or penetrated the cavity is not yet known. Mr. Ellett is shot in several places in the side and in the arm. The wounds of neither are considered necessarily fatal, though they are thought to be serious. W.H. Foote, Deputy Internal Revenue Collector for the district, who is a mulatto, was also wounded in the head, being beaten with a stick. The origin of the affair was as follows. As near as can be ascertained, on Monday evening, Richard Gibbs and Kenny Logan, Negroes, had a quarrel at Barkhouse's saloon, and Henry Ellett and John T. Posey, who were present, undertook to stop the disturbance.
Anybody uncertain on the spelling or the plural of Negro, it is OES. Keep that next time you use it.
At this, John James, a Negro, interfered and was told that they wanted nothing out of him. Later in the evening, as Posey and Ellett were passing Lynch's butcher shop where James stayed, James was heard to cry out, "Clear the way, and I will shoot both the sons of bitches." They naturally felt outraged and went to Lynch's butcher shop. Many persons were on the streets. Suddenly, a pistol was fired, and as if it were the signal, firing became general. Pistols and shotguns being used. John Posey was riddled with shot, while his brother Carnot received a charge in the shoulder and side, and a pistol ball struck him in the back and ranged forward through his heart. Nichols was also killed by a charge of shot. Ellett and Halder were shot with pistols and later received a bullet that was probably intended for John Posey, he being by his side. The Negroes were seen in the evening in cliques and crowds, talking in a mysterious manner and predicting a difficulty.
Nothing's changed.
As has been developed since the tragedy, the white men were taken by surprise, and nothing of the kind was thought of or expected by them. Most of the shots, some 30 or 40 in number, came from the darkness. Foote being the only Negro engaged in the fight who was in the light, so far as can be learned. Mr. Ellett is a northern man and a Republican who came here from Indiana 10 years ago. His father lives in Atchison, Kansas. The tragedy has no political significance whatsoever, growing as it did out of a personal affray. It is now being investigated by a coroner's jury, and it will be probed to the bottom. The following arrests were made yesterday and today. A.S. Lynch White, the owner of the butcher shop, as an accessory before the fact. W.B. Foote, Nicholas Parker, Bob Swayze, J.K. Richardson, Wash Hall, Octavius Thomas, Henry Schuler, and Jim Gibb, all colored. All those people were arrested. Other arrests will be made. John James, the cause of the unfortunate tragedy, who was desperate, daring mulatto, was killed yesterday morning while defying arrest. Oh, wow.
Those mulattoes
so
were
the main guy
trouble.
was killed. Yeah, the main troublemaker was killed. Resisting arrest, police brutality. Tragedy caused great excitement. Everything is now quiet, but the people are on the alert and prepared for any emergency. So what happened after the incident? The article above presents a heavily biased commentary account of a significant historical event known as the Yazoo City tragedy on Christmas Eve of 1883. While the article frames it as a cold-blooded assassination by Negroes, historical analysis reveals it was a culmination of racial and political tensions involving W.H. Foote, a prominent Black Republican leader and a federal tax collector who challenged white supremacy in the region. Here is the fate of the individuals involved after the events described in the article. John James, the article notes, he was killed yesterday morning. He was hunted down by a posse and shot to death the day after the initial shootout. W.H. Foote, William Henderson Foote. In the article, he's listed as wounded in the head and arrested. On December 29th, 1883, 3 days after the article was written, a white mob of approximately 200 to 500 men stormed the jail where Foote and the others were being held. They shot Foote to death in his cell. Foote is now recognized as the first Black American federal officer, Bureau of Internal Revenue Service, and predecessor to the ATF killed in the line of duty.
Was he in the line of duty?
In 2012, the ATF posthumously...
He's the one playing pool? No, that was the other one.
In 2012, the ATF posthumously honored him for his bravery in defending the rule of law.
Well, good for him.
And other prisoners, the Lynched.
When you see a Sun man obeying and upholding the law, you kind of got to reward that. You know, you got to give him a medal or a plaque or something.
The mob that killed Foote also lynched 3 other men mentioned in the arrest list. Bob Swayze, lynched and hanged. Nicholas McKay Parker, lynched and hanged. Jim Richard Gibbs, lynched and hanged. Political aftermath. The violence effectively ended the Republican Party's influence in Yahoo County. Remember, the Republicans are the blacks back then. Do you remember that? This is before the switch to the...
Yeah, because the Republicans, Lincoln was Republican who'd freed the slaves.
Exactly. So this ended the Republican Party's influence in Yazoo County and consolidated white supremacist political controls in the area for decades. So the Democrats were the white supremacists.
The Democrats, yeah.
Yeah. The event served as a violent warning against Black political assertiveness during the post-Reconstruction era. Wow, man, we gonna have to so much, man. So much, man. We gonna have to so much, man. So much, man. So much, man. Golly, man. We are, wow.
It's crazy the amount of crime that was kind of proportional to how it was today. They just were running crazy. One generation, 2 generations outside of slavery, there's no fear of being lynched, fear of white mobs, and every white person is racist. Doesn't hold up.
Nothing. I mean, not only like it wasn't sort of like that, it was nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, what these stories describe is literally today, okay? Like, they describe today, okay? It's just today. There's nothing nothing, all except for the fact that the Sun men are usually murdered for their crimes in the following days. Aside from that, everything aside from that, right? Like the accountability was swift and brutal.
At times, it wasn't always like that either, though. You know,
the accountability was swift, and it was extrajudicial too. It was swift, brutal, and extrajudicial. But everything before it didn't deter Sun men. Like none of these sons look deterred by like if you were gonna get lynched for doing shit like that. Sun men didn't seem like they were that was, which is scary, which is absolutely terrifying that even that wasn't a deterrent.
If the threat of prison doesn't do it, the threat of possibly getting caught and maybe getting lynched won't do it either. Just the hang on a second.
Wow. Unbelievable, man. We live in a different time, man. I mean, wow. Unbelievable, man. The fact that lies, that they are able to perpetuate these lies and keep these lies going for so long is absolutely remarkable, man.
It's amazing. They've completely branded certainly everybody in the South since as just being an absolute racist. And then, you know, by the 21st century, every white person is just inherently a racist monster. And it really just is the same battles being fought now as they were then, dealing with a class of people that are just more violent prone.
Yeah.
They're not
and
meant
don't
to
care and don't respond to deterrence. Like the deterrent, because remember they abolished lynching. So it's like the deterrent, just like now, how we've weakened the laws or we've rolled back the laws, like that, because they don't respond to the deterrent, white people just abolish the deterrent.
Well, it's also interesting now. Why were these lynchings happening? Is it because these people were so bloodthirsty and savage they just couldn't wait to shoot or string someone up, or did they have no faith in the system to actually deliver justice? Were these lynchings because they knew that this guy's going to go to court, there's going to be some defense, he probably won't get convicted, or were they just bloodthirsty racists?
I could see it being a mix of the two. I could see it being like, well, when slavery is over, right? Remember, so a lot of these people were alive. This is 1883, the Yazoo City Massacre. So this is a lot of people are alive from slavery. So they're used to these people, not all of them, because there were a lot of freedmen, but they're used to the slave class being made up of these people, right? And they're used to these people being subordinate to a certain degree. And they were freed, and like they just instantly start like, they don't like ease into it. They just instantly start like wilding out and being like,
They were also given a little more self-determination stuff after the Civil War too. The carpetbagger Republicans of the South, giving jobs and patronage to Negroes that went against the grain.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I can see there being some saying like jealousy towards sons, but sons incurring that jealousy with their behavior. And I could definitely see. I'm not saying these white people are perfect. A lot of these white people, everybody back then knew their way around a gun. Like, it wasn't like having a gun was something like now, you know what I mean? It was like everybody had a gun, you know what I mean? So it's like, but sons would murder you. Like, white people can have guns and not murder you. Sons really can't have guns and not murder you. You know what I mean? Sons really don't do guns well and not murder you.
The numbers bear that out.
Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, man. Wow. What a how crazy is that, man, huh? This is a revelation, man. And we've seen a lot. For it to be a revelation, as much as we've seen, is absolutely insane. Great show, man. Great show, man. Great show. Holy shit.